People on my watch were asking me what's wrong, and I was like, I'm fine. They're like, but you're not, you're shouting all the time. And I just didn't see it. I didn't recognise there was anything wrong with me. One day, someone came in and made a flippant remark that our control room might be shutting and going off to a different county. And it was like a switch had been flicked, and I didn't come back for 5 months.
It first started like the lack of sleep initially. I'm a little bit scared to shut my eyes, because every time I shut my eyes I saw what I didn't want to see from that incident.
Hi, I'm Steve Wright, the General Secretary of the Fire Brigades Union. I've been in the fire service since 2001, and what I've witnessed in that time is there is a mental health crisis in the fire and rescue service.
I was trying desperately to get to a point where I could just take a bit of rest and have some leave. I felt completely burnt out at work, and when you're not fit for what you're doing in the control room, you're responsible for so many important decisions, and you've got to be in the right frame of mind. It's dangerous. You could make the wrong decision. You know, someone could ultimately die because of a mistake that you make.
And to go from being in your bed, out cold, deep asleep, to 5 minutes later at probably one of the most disturbing and horrific incidents I'll ever come across in my life. It changes personally, it changes you personally, and I think it always will. I don't think I'll ever be the same.
Now, we've got lots of personal stories from our members across the UK, in fire stations and in fire control rooms, that have suffered with their mental health. But what we haven't got is a body of work to look at all of this. That's why we've commissioned the University of Central Lancashire to perform this work and conduct this research.
Just to help you put things in perspective, 57% of the firefighters in UK have thought about quitting the job due to poor mental health, and it's estimated that between 7 and 37% will develop a post-traumatic stress disorder in the course of their life.
25 years ago, we were well funded. We had 5 people on a watch. For a small control room, that's quite normal. So because of austerity and cuts, there's less of us in the control room, there's less of us on the fire stations, but there's more work to do, and that causes burnout.
After 15 years of austerity, that the fire and rescue service has been cut to the bone. We've seen 1 in 5 firefighter posts lost, losing 12,000 firefighters in that time. That we know that this will have an effect on people's workloads, it will increase their stress levels, and it does affect their mental health. And that's why we need this body of work to take to the government so that they can understand the real issues that our firefighters, our members, are facing on the ground and on fire stations today.
We shouldn't have to go through horrific incidents and not be backed up by your own workplace, who are meant to be there to help you.
So the type of mental health support a firefighter receives depend on the region they're working in or the specific fire and rescue service they're working at. For example, mental health check-ins are not standardized, ongoing support is not standardized. There is a inconsistency in funding, which, to be honest, reflect in an inconsistency in the mental health support that people receive.
So the fragmentation that we have seen across the fire and rescue service causes us to have issues with a postcode lottery on attendance times, response times, how many firefighters on fire engines, but we also see it in the mental health provision, and that cannot be the case. We need to make sure that our provision for one firefighter is the same for another firefighter, whatever part of the UK they are working in.
I'd hate to think that there's people that have been in my situation that have not had that help, because I can't imagine what they would be going through right now.
So what this survey needs is for 10,000 of our members from across the UK to respond, to complete it, so we can gather this information that we need.
First of all, it's okay to not be okay. The more that we speak out about mental health, the less it will become a stigma.
So please follow the link at the end of this video and share it with your colleagues, and let's change the mental health provisions in the fire and rescue service.
Everyone does need that help, so I urge you, please just fill in that survey.